Now, this is a serious one today, y'all, because we are facing, and I think Ashley agrees, a job apocalypse. That huge sucking sound you're hearing are jobs being sucked out of the marketplace. And why? AI. Now, before we get all, up in a tizzy, Ash, should we be also talking about the tremendous opportunities that exist?
Absolutely, because you have to be willing to learn. And so now we are definitely going to get into what that skill set may look like that you need to learn as you adjust to the new market. As Randy calls it, job apocalypse. We're going to show you how to overcome the job apocalypse at this point by showing you that skill set.
Now, when we talk about the job apocalypse, y'all, here's what we really mean is that we are going to have to reskill. Why I showed up today, I got my jacket from when I was working with an electrician. I was doing some consulting with an electrician. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to pull on this jacket because we were twisting wires. We were pulling wires through, you know, houses and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about a different kind of skill. And that's what we want to talk to you about today is how can we go about reskilling? And when we're going to, Ashley and I are going to be going and talking to some universities pretty soon. We're going to literally just go out there, start knocking on some doors and saying, hey, listen, y'all are going to want to talk to AshRand Career Solutions because we figured out some things. We've got some tools that we can share with you that can help your students because the way you're teaching them now is not the way they're going to need to learn coming going forward. All right. So, Ash, are you ready to just jump into this and talk to people about this future ready? We're going to call it this future ready university because this is what we're going to be doing, talking to universities in this particular way. Future Ready University, helping them do this transition higher education for guess what? Tomorrow's, not today's, tomorrow's workforce. Ash, what do you think about this idea of the Future Ready University?
And so what I constantly kind of hear a lot out in today is automation, advance, right? AI. And so anytime I think about the future, that's exactly where my head goes. It goes exactly there. And I think that being able to ensure that not only the industry is aligned, but ensuring that higher ed is aligned to be able to prepare the workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
With
Mm-hmm.
utilizing and learning AI.
And here's the thing, you've heard it, right? You may be messing around with ChatGPT and Claude and some of these other things, but here's the big deal, y'all. The transformation is already coming, already underway. You can like literally see the train like this. Hey, is that the AI train? Yes, it is. But here is the big thing. You're hearing about like the Amazons of the world
Mhm.
laying off. But one of the things and the biggest reasons they're laying off, and this is really crazy, it's not because AI has automated, it's because they got to be able to afford, literally, they got to be able to afford to have AI and all that it burns because that's the part that's not a lot of people aren't talking about is that it burns this thing called compute. So people are literally losing their jobs because they know they got to go out there and get and buy ahead, compute ahead just to run AI. So at first, you remember how they used to say this that hey, it won't be AI that makes you lose your job. It'll be
Mhm.
somebody using AI. Well, that might be a little different, Ash. Now it might be AI companies having to make room for the energy that's going to be consumed, the chips that's going to be consumed. You're losing your job to a chip. Seriously, not a person,
Yeah.
but the fact that they got to buy these chips to, allow the compute. 150 million workers are going to be impacted. They are going to need new skills. Now, can we help them reskill, Ash? This
We
is
absolutely can. And so that's why we are here today. We want to talk about the skills that needs to be developed,
right,
right?
and
In this
and that's
space.
and that's why we called it this. career, business, life. Now we are a career channel. That's what we talk about, jobs and all that kind of stuff. I can't even run ads on Facebook because they said no jobs. But the point is that this channel is all about these other things, these intersections that affect the job. The thing that has shown a lot of people their worth, has given people their purpose, has given people their direction, their discipline. I used to get up at 4 in the morning. That was my discipline. Did it for 20 something years working for a company. Now I'm an entrepreneur. I get to do what I want. But imagine this, because AI is transforming every job function across all industries, and that nearly 4 out of 5 technology roles now require AI skills. What we are out there telling people right now is let us show you, let us, show you some of the dashboards that we have that help you think about this stuff. We actually have a dashboard right now that allows you to plug in your job and kind of get a risk assessment. I built it the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we want to make that available to you. We're going to make it available to you in a big old package. So it's coming soon.
Mhm. Mhm.
But what about this one? Traditional 4 year degree cycles cannot keep pace with this philosophy.
And so, with that, it's about making sure that the university can be aligned with what looks like tomorrow when it comes down to those AI skills. Because just like you heard, everyone's a little apprehensive to utilizing and to
Mhm.
leaning into AI because they feel like they're going to be replaced. And honestly, this is that wake up call. Here we go. 5.5 trillion. Okay. You will if you do not learn how to learn, not just what to learn, but learn how to learn. And we're going to help you with that too.
Learning how to learn is so, I think, important. But here's what I want to do. We kind of want to warn you too, right? There's a cost to do nothing. Right here. Cost of inaction. Say, wait, there's a cost to do yes. Cost. Okay. Settle down there, buddy. Cost of inaction. So in other words, as you're sitting there going, I think I'm gonna put my head in the sand and I'm gonna
Mhm.
wait this thing out. Yeah, we can't do that. And now keep in mind, you're not the only business as a person. You're not the only business. Your business isn't the only thing that's being affected. Education is going to be affected by this because guess what? I can kind of go to one of my GPTs and, you know, get an answer.
Mhm.
So, what did I go to university to find out? Answers. However, now this is our conversation for universities. As you listen to this, universities, let's start thinking about, I mean, literally looking at all the stuff you have been teaching and ask yourself, is any of this relevant now, given what we have today? We got massive amounts of tools that really can do the job of your professors. Now, I teach entrepreneurship. I understand. I have them come to me all the time, Ash, and they say, yeah, ChatGPT already helped me with that. So what I do typically, Ashley, is I'll say, well, let's do what ChatGPT told you to do or Claude told you to do, and let's implement it because that's what's still missing. Universities are going to be, I think, institutions of implementation,
Now,
not just teaching.
and that's kind of where it has to fall now if we're going to stay ahead of this AI emerging trend. We have to prepare the workforce. So if they become that implementation institution, I think that's where they're best going to fit at this point.
Gosh, that sounds good, don't it? Implementation
Hmm.
institution.
Hmm.
What if you started a college today? I wouldn't be afraid of using a GPT. I really wouldn't. I would literally say, no, no, no. We're going to use that in class. For my entrepreneurs, I go, oh, no, no, no. We're going to use it in class because I want them to not only get the answer, but I want them to understand it. And then I'm going to tell them to prompt it in a way. Then I also going to say, okay, now the action steps, which is the missing piece, even though you have the answer, you're still not doing. Why is that?
Hmm.
So here's what's happening. The jobs 66% faster than before, they're evolving. And I think this number is off.
Yeah.
Know how much power, how more powerful you feel because you know you got a tool.
Hmm.
And you go, you know what? I just yet have to go to my tool and get my answer. I just have to go over here and that thing will tell me. That
Yeah.
is power, y'all.
Hmm.
So now, look at this. 66% faster evolution in AI exposed role compared to traditional roles. How are our job candidates supposed to show up now?
Ready to learn, open-minded, because at the end of the day, in order to understand how to utilize those tools, you have to learn. You have to open your mind and be able to willing to try something new that's going to help you elevate or even automate
Mhm.
some of the roles that you're doing too. So,
Yeah. And understand that now, get this, y'all. This is probably a little bit extra, but I want to share it with you. And if this has already happened, I already had a couple of clients that I talked to recently, and they says, "Yeah, I used to be a underwriter, and AI now underwrites my stuff."
mhm,
Now, don't get me wrong, those AI underwriters suck because they just say no. If they detect something real weird, no, then you have to appeal that,
mhm,
right? But it's like, mm-mm. And you're going, what do you mean? Well, because AI detected so and so, and then maybe they have a person look at it. But
yeah,
imagine now in your upskilling that you can literally say, I use very specific tools to get very specific answers that I now combine with what I know from my job. In other words, with what I know I can do. Now,
mhm,
think about this because Ashley and I both help you write your resume,
mhm,
and write the kind of resumes that pass the, tracker systems. On those resumes now, and what I've done at least, Ash, is I've included tell me the tools you use and how you use them.
mhm.
What do you mean tools? No, I don't want to know the job you did. I want to know the tool you used and how you used it. That
And
becomes the question that we got
mhm,
to answer for organizations. Look at this. I've heard this and I'm going to take it a step further because now we realize that people aren't losing jobs to people who know how to work with AI, but we're also realizing that companies now have to afford the AI that they use.
yeah.
They got to afford the AI that they use for you.
And Randy, it's not just about making sure that the industry can afford the AI that's going to be utilized, and we can take it a step back and ensuring that universities are open to allowing their students to utilize AI as well. The entire ecosystem need to be on board with this in order for the upskilling and the reskilling to happen.
Yeah. So now when we think about that, y'all, okay, here's what, and Ashley is just letting me cook today. So that's why you say, why are you talking all the time, Mr. But actually, she just says, "Look, man, you can go ahead and cook with this one because I've been 10 toes deep in this stuff, right? I've been just ten
Mhm,
toes down and just bringing my mind around it. And I, again, I run different businesses, and they all involve AI. And when I started looking at the job apocalypse that's coming and the why behind it, this is what I came up with. Things like this, right? More employers are not going to be looking for degrees. They're going to be looking for, can you do it?
mhm.
Can you do the work? The degree tells me nothing, especially if it's a computer degree, because they go, we got an AI in the back and we got one person that watches it, turns it on, and runs workflows. So I need to know other stuff from you. So let's think about this. Let's look at them, in fact, because Ashley and I, we're building stuff around this.
Yes.
Career aligned programs. This is what learners need to be thinking about. Stackable credentials.
Mhm.
Micro certifications are becoming standard. Okay. Hey, what
Yeah.
did you get that? What you just learned? Oh, you just learned how to create an NAN workflow, throw it on Hostinger, and host it there so that it reduces cost to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've learned how to connect MCPs and APIs. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You learn this. You're able to stack these credentials and then demonstrate. Here's what I'm going to be doing and talking about a lot. Show me what you've done.
Mhm.
Don't just tell me. Show me. Show me your workflows. Show me where you put it on. You see what I mean? So it's demonstrated I use this stuff. Here's how I use it, and here's the effect of it. Now,
Yeah,
Ash, you know, we can spend a good weekend concentrating on one thing instead of TV, and we can get a couple skills under our belt.
it's true.
Now, when we put out, our courses and stuff like that, and we bring you in to the things that we do, that's what we expect of you is to go, okay, all in, concentrate on this, show me that you can do it. And then when you're done, we can show you what you've created that then is proof.
Hmm. Like badging.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
badging in a different way. So, hey, I got a badge. Where is it? Show me. Because I want to see not the badge. I want to see what the badge, as a result of you getting the badge, what
Absolutely.
actually did you create? I created the other day, I created a resume for a guy, not just a resume, but it is an interactive resume.
Mm.
And I can point people to his site. And then on his site, it shows things he's done interactively. You can literally see it. Here's what I've done. And people can click on it and they go, oh, and they can watch him doing the thing. It's incredible, man. I've
You
been
know
wanting to
what,
build this
Brandon?
for 7 years.
That's amazing, by the way, because it gives that knowledge to know again, like that point you just made, what can you do versus not just what you know. So I love the interactive resume, and you know that's going to be a new thing. So keep that rolling.
And we will help you. That's what
Yeah,
we will do, right? I save some of it for what we do too.
yeah.
We'll help you create one of those where you can go, hey, and we got all the tools to help you with this. Here's what I did at my job. Here was the effect of it. Here's how it looks in action.
Hmm.
Imagine employers now looking at that going, oh my gosh, this person's got an edge,
Oh
a
yeah.
human edge, skills that can't be automated. That's why I'm wearing this, y'all. Like this is when I was working, like I say, when I was working with, I got my little coat, and it's a beautiful coat. It's I've had it for years now, and I had just gotten out of getting a bachelor's degree, and I started working with this company, and we would go out, man. We're plugging stuff, and he would show me how to do it, and the whole thing.
Oh,
Nothing ever
see.
burned down, so that's good.
Hmm.
Because he's licensed electrician, the whole thing. But it was about this, right? It was about getting out there, doing some things. Now I have that as a skill. I can do my own house now because I know how to. I've pulled wire, I've connected them. Every now and then I got to give him a call. And then what does he do? He just kind of looks at it. Yep, that's right. Send me some money.
Oh yeah.
You'll see what's possible. As automation increases, look at this. Uniquely human capabilities become premium assets.
Mhm.
Uniquely human capabilities. Like what? Ash, tell me some uniquely human capabilities. What do you think?
And so, really, what you kind of got laid out here is just extremely important. What we have laid out here is being able to connect, collaboration, and communication, right? Which I see on here. Um, the critical thinking. So, all of those things that you have to utilize on a daily basis and not leaning into tools to be able to complete your job functions. There's two things you have to be considerate of. One is if you are able to learn new tools, and then two, if you're able to work with others. And being able to work with others, you need this human edge and these certain skill sets that you can't automate.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff right there. Look at this. 35% of leaders feel their workforce is AI ready. Only 35% believe that they're AI ready. Now, when we say AI ready, ready for the job apocalypse, or ready to be moved on, or ready to be moved up, or ready to be moved over. How do we think about that?
Now, I think to some extent, with them thinking if their workforce is AI ready, is making sure that the industry absolutely have the necessary tools or even willing to have the funding
Yeah.
to have those tools. Because right now, some with the economy, even some businesses are hurting. And they have to get prepared for tomorrow's workforce by investing into an automated or an AI and ecosystem or environment.
Yeah, if I were universities, yeah, and universities talk to us. We'll come in and we talk to you. We do this stuff. I would throw out whole programs.
Mhm.
I kid you not. I would literally just say, okay, and I would ask, my current staff, listen, how fast can you get skilled up? Because we're saying, look at this. Right now, it's saying that a third of employees receive. The reality is that only a third have received any AI training in the past year. We're talking about from the job saying, okay, I'm going to send you over. I don't care if it's Udemy. We're going to send you over to wherever to get some training and you get rid of all the fluff. Or
Mhm.
we're going to have people like AshRand come in and we're going to sit down with them and they're going to walk you through some specific things because, again, we're all about this career life, career business, and life. How can we help you with this? Point you in the right direction, show you the tools, work with you on the tools. So then you get this feeling of power as well. Going, I can do anything and I can do anything with my business, or I'm sorry, with my career here if I
Mhm.
want to stick around. Or you want to, package that knowledge up
Oh,
and
yeah,
do something else. But why not keep it at the company, help them out a little bit? Here's what we're seeing. Hidden crisis. Students are already using AI. Yep.
they are.
Colleges they were I don't know, it's 2026 and I hate to age this particular talk, but in 2026, look at this, there 50% of college students are using AI tools for coursework. That horse is out of the barn.
Oh, yeah,
Stop messing with these kids handing in AI papers. Ask them to demonstrate how it moves you forward. That
absolutely.
changes everything.
That's huge, Randy, because again, it's still not welcomed at this point. They can still get dinged and fail classes turning in AI driven work. And that's where the problem lies because in the future for the workforce, this is what they're going to have to utilize. And that's why we keep talking about this. So, yes, colleges, we have to have an open mind and we can talk to you about that. How can you bring in and utilize those AI
Yeah.
tools, not only for the benefit for your students, but also the benefit of you?
Yeah, because ultimately, look, the whole big ideal is are we equipping people to go out there into the workforce? Or are we
Hmm.
equipping them to write papers?
Yeah.
Listen, in fact, I don't even want them writing papers. I want them demonstrating papers.
Hmm.
Oh, AI told you how to do something? Okay, let's go up to the board and do it.
Tell me.
Let's
Show
show
me.
the class.
Show me.
Yeah, demonstrate it.
Hmm.
And then I want you to do a project tonight. That's your homework. I want you to do a project using AI and bring it in. Here's how you could work with said company. So now your case studies, in essence, become real case studies that you use the tools that are. Why would you tell somebody to go, hey, I want you to go dig a hole, and then there's a shovel right there, and you say, well, don't use that shovel.
It
Wait,
makes
what?
me think about the point at the bottom here, the line between authentic learning and algorithmic assistance has blurred completely. And it makes
Yeah,
me think about that when you're like, yeah, go out there and dig a hole. Because I guess that's considered authentic learning, versus
I now know how to
utilizing a
dig a
tool to get
hole.
it done.
Go do
We're
it.
working harder, not smarter.
Yeah. So there's one thing again, like you said, that I now know how to dig a hole, and then now show me. I harken back to what the best movie ever, and that's The Matrix. When
Haha.
he's got the little thing in his head and it shows
Hmm.
him all these kung fu moves and he's doing it in his head. And then he goes to Morpheus and says, I know kung fu. And Morpheus says, show me. This thing put it in you, but I need to see your muscle memory. And he
Uh-huh.
did not have it yet. So, yes, there's authentic learning and then there's AI.
Hmm.
We grade on the demonstration based on the usage of intellect and AI. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but this is what we would come in and talk to you about. Otherwise, we're going to have this right here, y'all. We're going to have this huge digital divide. And we're going to have the have and have nots if you're not careful. Access determines opportunity. Access determines opportunity. Look at this.
And
We all dying.
how long can that withstand, right? That digital divide. I just want to put that out there
Yeah. Here's one
if that
one thing.
happens.
Let's get to this point right here. Here's the advantage.
Hmm.
Those that decide to take their heads out of the sand and do. Harnessing full power. Look at this. Wage clustering, a geographic clustering, wage premium, 55% wage premium. AI intensive jobs are concentrated in specific areas. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
And we've talked a little bit about that before on this channel. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It'll be somewhere up here. But think about that, y'all. The disadvantage falling further behind students lacking reliable connectivity or digital literacy, they're going to be excluded
Mm.
because you're going to be able to identify people in your organization. They're going to be like, that person's going to be resistant. That person's going to be resistant. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're holding and hoarding
Hmm.
the job, thinking that, oh my gosh, if I could just hold on a little while longer, versus the person that goes, can I get some training? That's the squeaky wheel that you want to grease. Look at this. Adults with some college but no degree face a higher risk of displacement. Okay,
Hmm.
we talked a little bit about the degree stuff, but now companies are saying, I think degree plus.
Yeah.
Huh? And
No.
as you're a university, and that's your business model.
Hmm.
Ash, that's university's business model.
It
Giving
is.
out degrees.
Hmm.
Okay, and AI going, we don't need that. You just need, $20 or
And it's a
maybe
little
even
more than 20
$30.
bucks, but I know where you're going with that one. With
Yeah,
getting
I spend
credentials.
I spend a lot, but depending on what you do, you can get by. You can get
Yeah.
by. I still you I even use a couple of free ones, but
Yeah, because
you're
I
only
know
gonna
there's
get
free
like
ones
a
too.
couple of questions, and then it's
Hmm.
over, and it'll see you next tomorrow. But bring a couple more questions tomorrow, and if you stack them right and you prompt them right, then they'll give you a really good answer. I'll give you an example of something I did recently. So something I did recently was I prompted one of the AIs. It's not one of the typical ones. I says, hey, here's this guy's book.
Okay.
Distill it down for me. Distill the whole book down. And based on what you already know of my approach, I got this thing called day one money. If it can't make money day one, I'm not doing it. And then I also have as the monetize your life guy on one of my other channels, blah, blah, blah. I says, now, with knowing what you know of me and my approach, distill what that guy just talked about in his book. Now, I'm doing that first before I even decide if I'm going to get the book. So I'm doing it a little bit of it backwards. I'm still going to buy the books because actually reading has gone up
Yeah.
in an era of, wait, I thought AI tells you everything. No, because now AI is presenting stuff to you and you go, shit, well, I wonder what chapter that's on. Let me check that out. And
Yeah.
then you get deeper. So that's what it did. It just went in and says, okay, I'll go out and find out bits and pieces of the book. I didn't have to read it first. And then I will distill it down based on what I know is your style.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what it did.
I
This
love
is
that.
this is right because of this. Look, it's becoming I can read something to get the credentials. Yeah, I can get a degree.
Yeah.
But then capabilities. I just showed you and told you how I took a piece of material and then it made me more capable because I learned from it, applied it to what I do, and then the next step would be, okay, now let's create something to help people with this.
And so, kind of just to expand a little bit here, um, it's so important for universities because right now, two-year universities are utilizing competency-based models
Mm,
really to show that skill set. And I think this is where we have to transition into completely with universities as well, incorporating that competency based model training or
yeah.
approach. can be able to help those students learn those skills just a little bit quicker and get right into the workforce, just as very much similar as the stackable credentials, micro credentials, as well as digital badging.
Yeah, that part is really key, right?
Hmm.
Real-time skills verification. Oh, can you do it? Show me.
Yeah.
Right. Anytime I get somebody calling me up or whatever, if they're overseas or whatever, saying, "Hey, we would like to work for you," I'd be like, "Well, show me the work. Show me what you could do."
Yeah.
Well, we want to get paid first. Mm-mm. Somebody sent me an invoice first. I said, "Nah, that ain't the way it's gonna work.
I need to see the
You
work.
got to demonstrate that you can do the thing that I'm asking of you by showing me. Otherwise, it's a no." Now, that's another opportunity for AI to be leveraging people, leveraging what you're doing is leveraging AI to say, "Do can you do this?" Because I got AI in my pocket. So now you can negotiate differently because you got AI in your pocket.
Hmm.
Universities, think about that. You got AI in your pocket. People are now negotiating against you.
Hmm.
They're basically saying, should I go to school? Should I just go to work? Because there's a cost. Now, all my business professors, y'all gonna know this. There's an opportunity cost involved. 4 years of what? Outside of the socialization part of it, like I can make friends online. Just saying. Or I don't have to make friends at all. I'm going to be at the house working. I don't need no friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Outside of the socialization part of this and the history of the school, it doesn't hold the same kind of weight as a person saying, I'm skilled in these large language models and I understand it and can leverage anyone that comes out because there's a new one comes out every other day.
Absolutely.
And that's not even talking about the higher end stuff, the moat bots of the world, Open Claw, yeah, also known as Clawbot,
Club.
Clawbot. I mean, all three names, but the moat bot is basically a doer. It just does. Now, it may erase all of your stuff, but that's not the point. People are harnessing it. They're figuring it out. I use this analogy today, Ashley. I use the analogy of if the horse is out of the barn running full speed, should you try to saddle it?
Mm-mm.
No,
No, not
no.
even.
I says you wait till it gets tired, then you throw your saddle on. I said
Mm.
business saddle. So yeah, but in the meantime, it's gonna be out of the barn just kicking up good dust.
Oh
In other
yeah.
words, if you could have anticipated that it was going to run out of the barn, you could have put some kind of saddle on it, and controlled it to a degree, or maybe got on it as it went out, and you could steer it better because you got the Claude bots or the Moat bots out there, what it's called now, that is absolutely 100% agentic, and you can let it go, and it just does. And you got people incorporating it into their businesses right now. Chinese companies, some American companies, but Chinese companies are going to say, we'll figure it out.
Hmm.
But look at this, y'all. AI literacy across every discipline, not just tech majors, all disciplines,
Yeah.
right? My daughter-in-law is a PhD psychologist. Okay. A lot of years of school. And she can't stand I can't stand AI. Why? Because people are coming to her saying, well, AI told me,
Yeah.
here's how I can fix this problem.
Hmm.
She's like hating on AI, but at the same time, within her industry, again, not business, not tech, we're talking psychology, sociology, science, humanities,
Hmm.
English. That's what we can help you with. I got to keep plugging stuff that we can do, so it's up to you.
No, it's important because this is why we're bringing this up. That's why we want to put it on the forefront because we don't want you guys to get lost in that wind, right? We want you to stay abreast, and we know that that's difficult. So we want to be able to come in and train and help. So yes, it's all about plugging what we can do to help out here.
Yeah, you see these four areas that's big, and there's levels deep of that.
Mhm.
But active learning for active minds.
Yeah.
AI has stimulated me in ways I just, come on, man. I
Yeah.
know I can do a PowerPoint in a couple of minutes, not a couple of days. I know that I can now take that and disseminate it across all kinds of different work because I did the work once. Are y'all seeing what's possible? So, how are we teaching our kids? What's in that classroom? I want AI in that classroom. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
I want it in the classroom, like start now. Seriously.
I think it needs
Don't
to go
fight
all
me
the way
on this.
back. Yeah.
Faculty as facilitators.
Yes.
That's changing role.
Hmm.
Not you're no longer the sage from the stage. Sorry.
You're an extension, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's an adjustment. We have to adapt. Personalized pathways, being able to create something very specific for that particular student. I'll give you an example for my own a business that I do. So I got these classroom full of students, and I do an individual entrepreneur action plan for each one based on their business. In fact, when I'm teaching them, and I do it every 3 or 4 times a year. Oh no, actually more than that. Anyway, so I consistently and constantly do it. And guess what? I do not have a curriculum
Mm.
because what am I going to put a curriculum together and it's going to be outdated next week? I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. So what I
No.
do is, and what becomes unique is this personalized pathway that they talk about right here. Each one has a very specific business problem. Then I craft it based on their business problem. Now, there's some general things that I can come in and show the whole room, but then we individually work on it while we got other people in the room looking in on it. Can you imagine the power? They're getting some muscle memory from doing it. They
Hmm.
got to now sit there in front of their classmates and go, here's what I did, demonstration. And then they get a chance to take a week off and go and implement the thing. And I see them next week. Do this for 6 weeks. And it is powerful. At the end, you've done several things. You've demonstrated you can do it.
Hmm.
And then at the end, you show, here's now what I'm launching. I'm launching it out into the world so that I can get paid. But they've got practice, 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 tweak, 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 done. That part. This becomes personalized.
And personalized, and there's no more one size fit all anymore, guys. Personalized pathways is where we need to be headed to sustain, to grow and build and sustain tomorrow's workforce, just to make that clear. And then as we talk about project based focus, right?
Mhm.
Ensuring that and students can actually work with and develop those critical thinking skills by actually doing, right? That is so important because, again, just like we talked about, having that human skill that cannot be replicated by automation, project based and critical thinking is one of those.
Mhm. Application over recall, y'all. That's what it comes down to. Now, okay. Now, we're going to stop here and talk to you a little bit about. I'll give you this. We'll make this available for you to take a look at it. We're going to put some links in here to things that if you want to jump into some of our programs and stuff. But look at this. This last little bit, assessment 2.0, measuring what actually does matter. This is now both sides. Now we're talking not only to our educators, but we're also talking to the ones that will be educated. If you're out there and you're doing this kind of work, I want you to see it too. You have an opportunity to look at this, to break it apart and to ask yourself, oh, could I teach this to my organization? Or do I need to go run ahead, sprint ahead, and find a program, maybe one of ours, that gets me ahead of this game? Right. And if we're just talking to our educators, this is what we want you to see. Assessment 2.0, measuring what actually matters. Traditional exams, mm-mm. What did you recall from? I don't care. What can you do?
Yeah.
Dynamic formative assessments with real-time feedback measures will be a better measure of student growth. Wait, what? Yeah, this part. Dynamic formative assessments with real-time feedback. That's just what I talked about. Being in class.
Yeah.
Hey, what do y'all think? Did it move you? Do we need to tweak it? Let's do it right now. Done. Next. What do you got? Show me. Right now, you got students. Oh my gosh, I'm shy. That's fine. This is exactly for this is so for the person that does not want to get up and do things, because you can sit behind your computer, just show me your work, right? Get yourself an AI avatar if you want to. That's fine. Let's bring
Mhm.
that. I Are y'all seeing this? What's happening is that now we, instead of leaning out and saying, "Oh my gosh, that's not real, that's not you," saying, "Okay, if you have the skill set to show me a avatar because that avatar makes you feel like you got a superpower, bam,
Do
show
it.
me." Because that's probably going to save a company some money. That's going to save a CEO maybe, because they can now, suggest talk about what they want to talk about without feeling all nervous and messing that all up and people
Mhm.
judging them on that. They can get the information out. Are y'all seeing what's possible here? If you're not seeing what's possible here, then we have wasted. So, Ash, come on now. We've shown and demonstrated that universities are going to probably have to take a different tact. Okay.
Yep.
What else can we suggest to them that gets them along that journey? And did we miss anything?
No, I think we covered all bases. And so now it's about, just like with anything, you can sit and listen to us, you can utilize some of our programs or utilize some of the training that we're offering. But it's all about putting it into action. So my first line of suggestion is let's start to act now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right. So we're going to leave all the necessary links that you need. If you want, you can look us up and see what we kind of do. You can go over to our YouTube channel. We'd love it, right? Look at some of the things that we've done. We decided to put this in that particular distribution format. Got a couple of videos on there on, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 10 or something like that. We're growing real, really fast. We need your help. We would love for you to look at this information, take the link, send it over to, Paul in accounting or wherever, or Paul over in as the head of Division X, whatever.
yeah.
Show them what we're talking about and asking, hey, should we have them in to talk to us a little bit more about this? And then we will make ourselves available for you. Ashley's busy. I'm busy. I do a lot of different things. She does a lot of different things, but we'll make ourselves available if it works out. And we always take a look at what you're asking for and then how we determine how we're going to give it to you price wise, or we're going to create something for you. You can pull it off the shelf when you like. That's up to you.
Yeah.
Ash, what else should we leave people with before we jump off of here today?
Um, Pretty much just again, try to lean into the resources that you have, use us as support so we can stay ahead of the emerging trends when it comes to AI and preparing tomorrow's workforce.
Well, all right, y'all. That's it. We'll talk to you next time.